Hello students, today we are going to discuss chapter 3 class 12th biology, human reproduction. We will discuss this chapter in two parts. So today I am releasing my first part on this lesson, human reproduction. So when we say human reproduction, it is a very interesting topic because everybody wants to know what is there in this. So when we say human reproduction, the first thing we are going to study about the male reproductive system. So what is male reproductive system? You know the diagram, you have studied this diagram in earlier classes also. It's just simple things we are revising. Our male reproductive system is positioned in the pelvis region and comprises of a pair of testes in addition to the accessory glands, ducts and the external genitalia. Now a pouch-like structure known as scrotum encloses the testes. These are the pouch-like structures. These are located outside the abdominal cavity. Each testis has close to 250 testicular lobules, compartments. So this is the inner part of your testis, and these lobules comprises of around 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules wherein the sperms are produced, and the lining of these tubules consists of two types of cells. One is male germ cells and another is the Sertoli cells. So this is the very important part of this male reproductive system. Next is the exterior of these tubules consist of space containing blood vessels and Leydig cells. So the Leydig cells function is very important. Male sex accessory ducts comprises retitestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vasa deferens. So these are the different accessory ducts. You have to remember these names and you can figure out in the diagram also these. The urethra opens externally through the urethral meatus, and the male external genitalia, the penis, is covered by a foreskin which is loose fold of skin. So these are the general part, but major things, the function of Sertoli cells, Leydig cells, and all this you have to remember. Next we talk of the female reproductive system. When we say female reproductive system, it is constituted by the oviducts, vagina and uterus. Three major parts are there. The section closer to the ovary is funnel shaped in frenulins. This part we are talking possesses the fimbriae finger-like projections facilitating the assimilation of ovum and post-ovulation. The infundibulum directs to a wider section of oviduct known as ampulla. So this is directing to the wider section, and the last section of the oviduct is isthmus, has a narrow lumen joining the uterus. So here when it is coming, this is part we are talking of. Uterus is also known as the womb, this part. The cervical cavity is also known as the cervical canal, which goes onto the form the birth canal along with the vagina. This lower part is there. Female external genitalia comprises mons, pubis, labia minora, labia majora, clitoris and hymen. These are the different parts of the female external genitalia. Now when we talk of the other things, now the question comes, what is gametogenesis? It is the process of division of diploid cells to produce new haploid cells. In humans, two different types of gametes are present. One is the male gametes, which are called by sperm, and in female they are known by the ovum. So the process of sperm formation is known as spermatogenesis, and the ovum formation is which is known as oogenesis, which we have to study in detail. So with the help of diagram we are going to study. When we talk of spermatogenesis, so all this is happening through the primordial germ cells. Initially the mitotic division is going to take place, and after the two mitotic division, first will give you the spermatogonial stem cells, then again the mitotic division will give you spermatogonium, till the primary spermatocyte is formed. They are 2n in number. That means we are having the 46 number of chromosomes in them. Then the first meiosis 1 part is taking place and the secondary spermatocytes. In the first meiosis 1 also, now they are equational division, not reductional division. First part is, then the meiosis 2 it will be reduced to n number. So here also it is n number, and then it is the equational division. So the reduction taking place in meiosis 1, 2 and 2, and it is becoming, and then the equational division is taking place. So you can remember meiosis 1 is reductional division and meiosis 2 is equational division, and these are known as early spermatids. So the 4 from each is produced from the single one, cell differentiation, and this will, after the production, sperm will be formed and the nourishment to them are provided by the Sertoli cells. Likewise, when you talk of the oogenesis, in oogenesis also primordial germ cells is taking place, mitotic division will take place, oogonium will be formed, mitotic division. Now all this part which is there is happening in the embryo stage only. This you have to remember. In case of females, this whole part is happening in the embryo stage. After this, the completion of meiosis 1 and onset of meiosis 2. So the first polar body, secondary oocyte, arrested at the metaphase of the meiosis 2. When the ovulation will take place, and then after the ovulation, the sperm entry will take place. Then the completion of meiosis 2 will take place, and this is how if sperm able to enter and fertilize the egg, then the fertilized egg will be formed. Otherwise, the menstruation cycle which we'll study. Now, what is menstruation cycle? It is a monthly series of events that are associated with the maturation of an oocyte and the changes in the follicle. Now, average 28-day cycle is there. Day 1 of the cycle begins on the first day of the period, when the period starts. Several follicles will start this process at the same time, and usually only one will reach ovulation and the other degenerate. So only one follicle will be able to go up to the last, others will degenerate. Next is menarche. The first menstruation begins at the puberty and it is called the menarche. And the menstruation cycle, it is the cycle of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called menstruation cycles. These are very important definitions. Menopause, the menstruation cycle ceases to operate at the age of around 50 years, you can add, and this is known as menopause, when the menstruation stops in female. So menarche is the starting of menstruation and menopause is the stopping. Next is menstruation cycle is divided into different parts. First menstruation phase, it is from day 1 to day 5, when the menstruation flow occurs due to breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus. The inner lining of the uterus start breaking down if the fertilization has not taken place. Follicular phase is the phase in which the follicles will generate. Primary follicle will go and results in the Graafian follicle, and the primary oocyte finishes meiosis 1 that was started as a fetus, and it becomes the secondary oocyte with a polar body. Endometrial wall of uterus regenerates. So in the first menstruation phase it is degenerating, breakdown. Now here it is regenerating for the expected pregnancy. Next is in follicular phase, the release of gonadotropins LH and FSH increases. These are the two hormones, and this causes follicular growth, and growing follicles produce estrogen. The LH and FSH are at their peak in the middle of the cycle at the 14th day. This you have to remember, that when the peak of this two hormones is there, LH and FSH, it is on the 14th day. Next is, you can see, ovulatory phase. It is the day 14, the rupture of the Graafian follicle to release the ovulation, and this is called the ovulatory phase. On the 14th day of the cycle, the ovulation occurs. Then is the luteal phase. 14 to 28, the remains of the Graafian follicle get converted into corpus luteum. Corpus act as an endocrine gland producing progesterone. Progesterone help in maintenance of the endometrium necessary for the implantation. So with the help of this diagram, you can easily understand. So the cycle is starting from this part, first to 5 days menses, then this up to 14th it is the follicular phase, then it is luteal phase, 14th day is ovulation, and then the menses. So the menses is the starting part, not the last parts, 1 to 5th day. Now during this you can see the ovarian hormones response. So during the menses, the hormone progesterone and estradiol, they are lowest during the menses. They will start increasing during the follicular phase, and as the ovulation stage is crossed, on the day of ovulation, before the ovulation, you can say estradiol is higher, progesterone is lower. But if the ovulation passes to the luteal phase, this progesterone keep on increasing, and if pregnancy occurs, this progesterone level will keep on increasing, and at menses, if nothing happens, then they will come down. Now if we say anterior pituitary hormone, that means LH and FSH, which we studied that on the 14th day both LH and FSH are at the highest. Body temperature also changes along with this cycle. You can say the body temperature is low at the menses stage initially, starting of the cycle, that means it is 36 degree, around 36 degree. it slightly keep on increasing on the day of ovulation, and or you can say around 14 to around 24th day, the temperature of body is going up to the 37. Again it will come down. Now ovarian cycle, if you want to study, the growing follicle will be there, ovulation will be there. If the after ovulation the fertilization occurs, then this corpus luteum will start releasing the hormone progesterone, and if this doesn't happen, this will degenerate into the corpus albicans. So this is very important figure, you have to remember. Mostly questions comes from this figure only. You can understand this from this diagram also. You can see blood vessels, primordial follicles are there. Through these primordial follicles, primary follicles will be formed. These are the developing follicles through which the secondary ovum, or you can say mature Graafian follicle, will be formed. This is the ovum which is relieved. If this is fertilization, then the early corpus luteum will start releasing progesterone hormone, and if this doesn't fertilize, this corpus luteum will degenerate and in the form of corpus albicans. These are, in sometimes this corpus luteum forms the cyst formation also, which is very painful, and the formation of this corpus luteum also generally tells the expected pregnancy, but it is not always sure. Next is the wall of uterus. It is 3 layers. Endometrium is inner, myometrium middle, and the perimetrium is outer. So these are the 3 layers of the uterus, we can see from the figure also. Thanks for watching this part 1. Next, implantation and other parts of this chapter we'll study in the part 2. Thank you.